All eyes of Edu and Arteta are eyeing the next Haaland coming in from RB Salzburg down in Austria, known as Okafor, coming in from the Switzerland national team. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where you watching us from? It's a mixture of lots of stories because we are talking the transfer news show. Thomas Tuchel is another one that has been into the contention to become the replacement for the coach or for the job or the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. And guess what? Bayern Munich have gone ahead to really hijack this deal, and they've sacked their manager known as Nagelsmann, and they brought in Thomas Tuchel. Then Lionel Messi is into the 800 goal club, and obviously he has written his name in the history books by scoring 800 goals, as Ronaldo has gone ahead to score a brace today to extend his goals or goal tally in the next ilk of the football legends into the world. So do the needful and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 13,000 subscribers. Talking about the next Haaland, obviously Okafor is one of those that has been on the ladder since last summer. I remember him being linked to Manchester United and very many other teams during the summer of 2022. But this time round, Arsenal are really eyeing for this man. And Edu talked to the Football London and had the following to say about the transfer window and how ready they are. Edu said the following, that it's already started because you know what's happening in the market. Everybody is doing stuff. You have to plan with people as well just to be prepared. So when you go again in the summer, you are very prepared. Meaning that Arsenal have already gone ahead to choose their summer transfer targets. And Arsenal has a plan that in every position that they are really looking for to recruit a player, they go in for 3 or 4 players. And Okafor is one of those that makes sense if at all is being linked to Arsenal. Why? Arsenal are looking in for a centre forward that is really proven and talented, and another left forward in there for you, because if they get in a forward who plays on the left, that means they're not going to sign in a striker. Trossard, Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus will be the strikers that Arsenal will be really backing on through the season. If at all they don't sign a striker, if at all they do sign a left forward, they can find themselves in a position of really signing or not signing a striker, because they will know that, sorry, if at all they sign a striker, then Trossard will go ahead and really play on the left side of the attacking midfield to compete with Gabriel Martinelli. Now, for Okafor, he plays in both positions. He plays as a left forward, he plays as a centre forward, meaning that he has a lot to add to that Arsenal side, meaning that you are really hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. He is good as a centre forward and is good as a left forward for any team he can play for. Now, Okafor's story was broken by what we call the Daily Mail, and this is what they had to say about Okafor: that amongst all links in the window, the latest name to rise on the ladder of the Gunners is RB Salzburg forward Nuo Okafor. Arsenal are among a number of English Premier League clubs eyeing the deal for the Swiss international this summer, along with London rivals Tottenham and West Ham. So I think Arsenal have shown us that they are now one of the most attractive teams in the world as far as the football is concerned. One, they have gone ahead to stick onto the philosophy that Mikel Arteta believes in. This philosophy fits every player provided he has the talent and can be press resistant or secure with the ball every time he's given the ball. And if at all your runs off the ball are good, like those of Okafor, then you have to find yourself attracted to this Arsenal side. The style of play is attractive. They want to find themselves in a position of really being one of the most attractive sides in the game of football. So Arsenal is topping the Premier League table. That is making more noise to every teenager or every football player outside the world that would love to come to the Premier League. And trust me, if I told you Noah Okafor and you hear that Arsenal is interested in you, you won't like to listen any news coming in from Spurs and West Ham wanting you, meaning that from Arsenal wanting you, the rest should be background noise for you. But you should only think about West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur if at all you are really not, if at all Arsenal backs out of your transfer. But with Arsenal interested in this lad, I don't see him putting an ear or paying an ear or a clean ear to Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham. I think he's going to pay a deaf ear to those teams because this boy is talented. I've seen him play in the Champions League and he's really proven. You know, the Champions League is really the yardstick at which you rate players. That's why you saw Mukalo Modric, before he was playing the Champions League in the summer of 2022, he was going in for only and only 50 million euros. The moment he played the Champions League, scored 3 goals and created 4 assists. Oh my God, his price skyrocketed to 100 million euros. That's why Arsenal never went in for him, and obviously Chelsea hijacked the deal and took the player because Arsenal had made an offer of 95 million euros. Then Chelsea came up and topped up more 5 to make 100 million euros. They promised him a salary more than that Arsenal would give him because Arsenal was promising a salary of £50,000 and Chelsea doubled the salary to £100 a week. So as it stands, it looks like Arsenal are in for another good talent that is really good. You know, Red Bull Salzburg is a very talented side. They look in for good players, and it's where Erling Haaland came into. That's why they're telling you that they're eyeing the next Haaland. He's been the player leading the line for Salzburg ever since. He has been a player leading the line with Benjamin Šeško ever since Haaland really left that side. And Benjamin Šeško was signed last summer, but for Noah Okafor has been there, and he has been really putting those balls into the back of the net every time that was called in for him to be doing it. So I think Arsenal would have gotten themselves a very good player that is in that ilk of Haaland best. Then we are told again by Football London that Noah Okafor has continued to impress, and with just 1 year remaining on his contract, the potential bargain could be on the cards to stop Salzburg losing the striker on a free transfer. Noah Okafor could join a long list of successful players leaving Salzburg in recent years. And who are those players? Those players are Haaland, Mane, all piled their trade for the club, coming through the ranks of the young age. With Noah Okafor potentially the next superstar out of the club, it remains to be seen if Arsenal will be able to land the Swiss star, but it could be the transfer target opportunity of this summer. So Arsenal really having a very huge age to sign the player. That means they can't even sell him more than like 30 million euros because he's left with 1 year on his contract. And if at all they sold Benjamin Šeško to RB Leipzig at only 24 million euros, I think it can call in for the same amount of money to say to it that Noah Okafor to Arsenal can cost less than 30 million euros. And I think for Arsenal, that will be a bargain. Even if you buy him and bring him at Arsenal, maybe if at all you want to loan him, it's okay. But why would you loan a player who has been playing in the Champions League for close to 2-3 seasons? You get no reason to bench such a player because he's really doing wonders for the club of Salzburg. And when you look at last season, this season he has gone ahead to play how many games in the Champions League? 6, and has 3 goals. So it shows you that if a player is worth a goal every 2 games, trust me, he's worth coming into that Arsenal side, because Arsenal has gone ahead to find itself in a position of going in the Champions League, because that is really given. Arsenal going to the Champions League is given. Why? Even if they don't win it, even if they don't win the Premier League, they'll find themselves in a position of playing into what we call the Champions League, because they'll be second. So getting in a player who has been scoring in goals in the Champions League at Arsenal is a very huge additive to the team. And I think Noah Okafor is really a great player. And calling him the next Haaland, he's not having those ridiculous numbers that Haaland had before he came into Borussia Dortmund. But I think he's also doing well, because by the time Haaland left, remember, he played half season and really left. Haaland had played 6 games in the Champions League and he had scored 8 goals. That is Erling Haaland for you. Now, for Okafu, he has played 6 games in the Champions League and scored 3 goals. Then in the Australian Bundesliga, Haaland had played 14 games and scored 16 goals. Now Okafu so far has gone ahead to play 19 games and scored 7 goals and 3 assists, but Haaland never had, and Haaland had 4 assists by then. So it shows you that Haaland was really scoring in more goals than him, but calling him the next Haaland really comes in through because this player is really at RB Salzburg, and that's where Haaland was to come in and really go to Borussia Dortmund and then to Man City. And Arsenal are really interested in the player. Let's wait and see how that is going to happen or mushroom out, because he's a very good player that Arsenal need and they can get him on a cheap. And if at all I'm Arsenal, I go all in and sign this player. After signing him, I really get him onto the field of play. Even if he doesn't work out, he has a very good resale value. He's just 22 years of age, but I don't see him not working out at Arsenal because he has all what it takes to thrive at that Arsenal side and pile more pressure onto Jesus and and Martinelli. That's it. Now, Fabrizio Romano dropped an exclusive today about the sacking of Julian Nagelsmann. This guy was got in from RB Salzburg and now he has been sacked by Bayern Munich. Exclusive: FC Bayern Munich are seriously considering to sack Julian Nagelsmann. Decision being discussed internally. The club could fire him soon. Understood Thomas Tuchel leading candidate to potentially take FC Bayern job. This is the first tweet that Fabrizio put in through, and then another tweet came in through that confirmed. Exclusive news: Thomas Tuchel becomes new FC Bayern coach. Full agreement in place. He has already accepted the job. Contract agreed. Documents are being prepared tonight. That's what Fabrizio told us about this deal of really sacking Nagelsmann. When we look at Nagelsmann, I think they were on the edge of losing. They were on the edge of losing the Bundesliga to a side called Borussia Dortmund because he has not been doing well. Why? On 18th February, he lost 3-2 to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Then he found himself losing a game of football to Leverkusen. That was the last game they played, 2-1. And I think those are one of the measures or yardsticks they really looked at and said, all right, if at all he's losing to a team like Leverkusen, Bayern Leverkusen, will he go ahead and really knock out a team known as Man City because they are facing Man City? Sorry about that. They are facing Manchester City. You know that very well in the Champions League quarterfinals. And Thomas Tuchel being brought in as a manager of Bayern Munich beat Man City in the final of 2022 to win the Champions League. It was 2021, not so, because 2022 is Real Madrid. So they looked at that and understood that maybe we need to get in a manager who's really going to win us the Champions League and obviously put us in a proper position to really compete for the Bundesliga and not see Borussia Dortmund edge us. When you look at the Bundesliga, Dortmund and Bayern Munich have gone ahead to play 25 games. They are having how many games to go? Because these ones are 16 teams. They are 18, meaning they play 34 games. They are left with 9 games. And out of those 9 games, Dortmund is leading the table by 53 points. Bayern has 52 points. So, as it stands, they had to sack this manager. Do you know why? Because they felt like they were not in the perfect position to really win the league and not in safe hands to knock out Man City. And they've went ahead to really bring in this and said, all right, let's sack this manager and bring in a manager who has ever beaten City at the finals of the Champions League and knocked them out. So, again, George Hosler, a reporter for Christian Folk and FC Bayern Munich, has told us that Thomas Tuchel was in very close talks to join Tottenham Hotspur and could envisage the existing project. However, Bayern Munich have acted quickly, and the German coach has now decided to join them. So he was in contention to join. Sorry about that. He was in contention to join Tottenham Hotspur, but right now, as it stands, it's no longer in the hands of Tottenham Hotspur anymore. The manager has really chosen to go on and really play or start coaching Bayern Munich, and is back home. Remember, he coached Borussia Dortmund, coached Chelsea and PSG. He has a vast experience as far as managing top clubs are concerned, but his only success in the top side is winning the Champions League with Chelsea, and I think that's why Bayern Munich have gotten him in, because they are thirsty to win the Champions League. Now, João Cancelo, after scoring in the game that Portugal beat Liechtenstein by 4-0, where Ronaldo scored a brace and Bernardo Silva pulled one, he has said the following after the game, that I've only found out now, I know I won't find Nagelsmann when I return to Munich. He wanted me to Bayern Munich. I would like to thank him. As for Tuchel, he made me lose a Champions League final. So I hope he will win it for me this year. That is João Cancelo. So João Cancelo was so much looked like knowing, because these players look like they've been knowing that this is going to happen, because Nagelsmann has not been training the players of Bayern Munich for like 4 or 5 days now. So I think it was all in the pipeline, and they are planning to sack him. Now today, Lionel Messi has gone ahead to write his name in the books of history. He has now scored 800 career goals with Barcelona, PSG, and the Argentina national team. He has scored 672 goals for Barcelona, 29 goals for PSG, then 99 for Argentina, and is hitting 800 career goals. That is Lionel Messi for you. And he recently hit 700 career or club goals for PSG, because he scored, I think, in what game? I think as he hit 700 career goals, that's when Kylian Mbappe broke the record of being the all-time top scorer for PSG in there for you. So let's wait and see how that pans out, but feel free to go in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts about Edu eyeing transfer for the next Haaland, that is Okafu. Now, what are your thoughts about Thomas Tuchel becoming the next manager of Bayern Munich? Did Nagelsmann deserve to be sacked by the board of Bayern Munich, or they fall out for non-footballing reasons? And Messi hitting 800 career goals, and Ronaldo scoring a brace today for Portugal, and they've both scored a free kick. Ronaldo scored his second goal as a free kick, and then Messi also scored his only goal as a free kick. But remember, in that game, Messi hit the woodwork two times, and would have found himself scoring a hat-trick of free kicks. So may the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. Good morning to all the viewers of this channel, and may the Lord enlighten your day. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later.